Hello everyone and welcome to Sip and Stitch. How are y'all doing? Happy Friday. We are having another morning edition of Sip and Stitch this week. And thank you so much for those of y'all that can join me in the morning. Got my coffee ready even though I'm running low. So I got some water back up in my Sip and Stitch cup. This will be filled with a different beverage later tonight like we usually do. But hello, if you're new here, my name is Carly Bell, and I like to do live machine embroidery tutorials every other Friday for something we call Sip and Stitch. So sometimes they can be in the morning at 10:30 Central Standard Time. Bring your coffee. And then I think in 2 weeks when we have our next Sip and Stitch, we'll go back to our 7 p.m. Sip and Stitch, and then you bring your beverage of choice. So thanks so much for all of y'all that can join me. Good morning, Brenda and Chantel and Trisha and Norma and Shari. I think Tina, Bridget. How's everybody doing today? Hello. So yay. So Trisha's liking the AM, mixing things up a little bit. So I'm glad some of y'all are liking it. I know it's hard for those of y'all that are working to join in the morning, and so I'm glad I can do this sometimes, and then we can do nighttime sometimes as well. And then you always have the replay. So if the time doesn't work for you, you can always go and watch the replays. The replays stay on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page where you can watch them anytime. And if you have a question, you can always post them in the comments of either the YouTube or the Facebook video, and I can get back to you. So even if you aren't with me live, you can still ask questions. All right. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Evelyn. All right. So Sherry says, heat wave in California. There is always a heat wave in Louisiana. So I am in southern Louisiana, south of New Orleans, and it is always hot here. Always hot and always humid to go with it. So, all right. Even Michelle says it's hot in Minnesota right now. So, yes, but can you believe it is September? Like, everything just went so quickly for summer that it is already September. Now, technically, it's still summer, but it stays summer in Louisiana until December. But I am ready for fall. I am ready for all things fall. I am ready for Halloween. I'm ready for Hocus Pocus 2 to come out. So I'm excited for a new month and all the fun things that we can make for this new season that is coming up. And that is what we're working on today. We are working on making a fall themed, and I'm using mine in the kitchen towel, but you can use yours wherever. So what we're doing today is we're making this towel. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's all thread except the word fall. The word fall is an applique alphabet. Oops. Sorry, my camera likes to blink every once in a while. So this is what we're working on today. And what inspired this project was the pumpkin design. The pumpkin design is what we're here for today, and it is free. And it is free on Creative Fabrica. So today's video, I partnered up with Creative Fabrica to have a free design for everyone to use and to have a giveaway. And if you're in my Facebook group and you follow me on Facebook, you saw I posted on Monday that we were having a giveaway for a $100 store credit or gift card to creativefabrica.com. And if you haven't heard of creativefabrica.com, it's one of my favorite places for all things crafty, not just embroidery. They do offer thousands of embroidery designs, but I also like to play with vinyl and with sublimation. and even just making like pretty things on the computer for the Facebook group and for my website, they have everything there. Fonts, graphics, sublimation, SVG cut files, no matter what kind of cutting machine you have. They even have sewing patterns and quilting patterns that you can download, along with all of the fun embroidery stuff. So if you haven't checked them out before, go check them out. I actually have a link down below where you can get, I think it's your first week for only $1. And so you can go and just download like individual things and they cost $1 or $2. Or if you're like me and go there all the time, you can get a subscription. And with a subscription, you can download anything on their website as long as you have it. So with the special link I have below, you get your first, I think, week for $1, and then you get, I think, 30% off of the usual subscription price if you want to stick with it, if it's something that you like. So check that out. But in the meantime, get your free pumpkin design download. And so what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how I opened this pumpkin in Embrilliance, and then I just used fonts that I already have. I'll tell you which ones they are in case you like these, but go through your fonts. If you have Embrilliance, you should have BX fonts installed in there. If not, use whatever fonts that you've purchased previously and type out "Happy Fall, y'all" and whatever fonts you like and you think look best. And so we're going to put that together on Embrilliance, and then we're going to stitch this out. Now, this project can be done on any machine. However, today I'm using my Ricoma EM-1010. It's a 10-needle, multi-needle industrial style machine. And so I'm going to show you how I use that machine and the special frames I have for it, the Durkee EZ Frames, to stitch this out. Okay. So, all right. Okay. So if I'm going to check the chat periodically. If you have a question and I miss it, don't be afraid to just go ahead and ask it again. And I'll try to keep an eye on it and scroll up and see if I miss anything. Okay. All right. Good morning. All right. So first things first, let's go over the supplies we need for this project, and then we'll go into Embrilliance. So looking at my table right now. So here's a better look at the design that we're stitching today. And I really like the pumpkins because it's not a traditional fill stitch. It almost even looks like a cross stitch fill. So you will see some of the material of whatever you're using. If you're using a white towel, you'll see it. I could see a tiny bit of the brown poking through, but I really like the style of the stitching. It's not your usual fill stitch. It has a little bit of texture and more dimension to it. And then this is the Applique font I'm using. So these two fonts I'll show you when we get in Embrilliance. I think those two were from Designs by Juju, and this one was from Joy Kate Designs. But we'll get into that when we get into Embrilliance. So first thing you need is a towel. I happen to have two. I bought like a pack from, I want to say Walmart, that came with like 2 browns, 2 whites, 2 blacks, and like a pattern. So get your towels wherever you want. I put a link to like just the general search for kitchen towels on Amazon. You can see they have a lot of cute ones. These are a little bit low pile. They're not super fluffy, and they have these lines in them. So I find the embroidery stands out well, but we're going to use some topper just in case. So you need your towel. Now for this towel, I'm using these frames. And when you have a free arm machine and you use fast frames, easy frames, or like the 8-in-1 device that Ricoma makes, generally people like to use sticky tear away, and they stick it to the bottom of the frame, and then they put their towel or their shirt or whatever on top and float it. Towels and sticky tear away don't always play nice together. I was hoping, since this towel was low pile, I was going to try and get away with it, but this is what the back of the towel looks like with me trying to pull off the sticky stabilizer, and it's not pretty. And most of the time, I tell people this, I don't care what the back of it looks like, because this is how it's going on my, I'm gonna put it like on the bar on my oven, like this, like nobody's ever gonna see the back. However, today, to make sure, because I think I'm gonna give this one away, and to make sure it does look nice, we're going to use wash away stabilizer instead. And this is a woven wash away. And this is what I typically use for in the hoop projects where I don't, let me give an example. We've done in the hoop ornaments and bag tags where the edging of the item has a satin stitch, and I don't want it to be tear away because you'll still see pieces of it. So with this, when you apply water to it, it goes away completely. This is different than your typical water soluble topper. I've seen people use this as a stabilizer as well, but I prefer the wash away. So this is a woven wash away. So that's the stabilizer I'm using. You can also use a regular tear away, and then you won't have the issues that I'm having here where it's sticky. It's really sticky because this sticky tear away is much stronger than if you use a spray adhesive. With this, it will tear away easier. But those are your options. You could do a tear away with a spray adhesive. You can do woven wash away, again with the spray adhesive, or we're going to play with some clips today. I got different kinds of clips, and I'm going to show you how to use those. So you got your towel, you got your stabilizer, you got topper. Other things are I use a disappearing ink pen for my placement marks. I use that on the towel and on the stabilizer. I have my applique scissors. I have some tweezers. Since I do have a little bit of applique, I have a piece of fabric and I have Heat and Bond Light already ironed on the back of it. And that's going to help keep your edges from fraying on your applique and adhere the applique fabric to the towel. And other than that, I think that's it. I'm gonna go more into the clips when we get to the hooping part. So if y'all don't have any questions about the supplies, let's go ahead and jump into Embrilliance. So here, Tina has a question. The sticky one, will that come off in the wash? No, this sticky tear away it's not wash away. It's still a tear away. So this is going to stay. It might come loose and I might be able to tear it off easier after the wash, but no, this does not wash away. All right, so let's figure out how to show you Embrilliance. Here we go. All right, I hope y'all can see this okay. So this is the design that I made, and this is the free pumpkin design from Creative Fabrica. And so all I did was add the letters. So I can show you how I do that. So let's make a new one. Let me go back here and I'm just going to copy my pumpkin, or you just open it. When you get here, you can hit the open button and find it in your downloads or wherever you save your embroidery files. Wait 1 second. Let me make sure I'm seeing everything. Okay, so I'm using, you can go to your preference window and let's see, can y'all don't see the preference window when I press it. Also, let me do this too. Nope, I don't want that. I want this. There we go. Okay, y'all can't see my preference window, but when you press this little yellow manila folder, look in here with Windows preference window, that is where you can choose the size hoop you are using. So the pumpkin comes in a variety of sizes. So you can do this in a 4x4 hoop if you are limited to that area, or you can do it in a much larger hoop. I saw some people wanted to make a garden flag using this design. So then you can choose the larger pumpkin design from your files and open that, and then choose the appropriate hoop for what you're doing. So I have the 5x7 hoop here. I have it in the vertical orientation. That's the way I'm stitching it out today. and I'm just going to paste my pumpkin. So usually when it comes in, it's going to come in right in the middle of the hoop, and I'm just dragging it down towards the bottom there. Okay, now I'm going to add Happy Fall Y'all in 3 different fonts. And I'm going to hit this Create a Lettering Design. And when I do that, this box pops up here. And my first word is happy. And you can choose to do it in all caps or uppercase and lowercase. And then choose your font. So, oh, you can't see all my fonts. I'm sorry, some things just don't translate well. So when I press this block button, another screen pops up with all of my BX fonts, and I can scroll through them and pick a font. So playing around with this, I'm seeing mostly that 3/4 inch tall or 0.75 inch tall letters are fitting with what I want. So like there's one option. And then I would press it again and say, I like the idea of fall being an alphabet, an applique. So let's see. So I'm just playing around with fonts I already have. This is the snack cakes design that, no, not snack cakes, sugar cakes that we did a few weeks ago to make, what did we make? We made a shirt. Yes, the school shirt. That's that same font. And I find with that font, you can resize it. With this font, the satin stitch, I would not resize it more than 20%. So you can go down to 80% or you can go up to 120, but satin stitches start to possibly get a little wonky. I'm not saying that it definitely will, but it's possible. So usually that's the range that I stay in just to be safe. This bean stitch font though, however, I find you can play with, and you will obviously see if something's off. Like there, I see those are off. So I can go back to making this 100%. It's normal. Oops, not 7,000 something. Okay. Now it keeps changing because I changed the dimension. I have to delete it and start over. There we go. So now you can see you don't have those weird stitches going on. Is because I moved it to be weird. All right, so that is one applique font I have. The one I used on the other, let's see, I also have this one, but that's a little too much for fall. Let's see. The one I used in my other towel I really like is by Joy Kate Designs, and it's called Gavin, I think. I have way too many fonts. Here we go. This one. This is the one I used. I did that. And I might have resized it a little bit. And then the word y'all. And with y'all, it depends on your fonts because not all fonts come with an apostrophe. So let me find. See, like this one came with a comma, and all you do with this one is I would just click this, and I'm using the arrow keys on my keyboard and raising it up. So now it's an apostrophe. And I can go right here with this. So that is the point of all this, is you play around with the fonts that you already have and make something. And it doesn't have to be Happy Fall, y'all. You can make it have any kind of saying that you want. You could do a pumpkin spice or something else cute, or, you know, somebody's kitchen if you want to make a gift. So there's lots of options of things that you can make with this and use the fonts that you already have. So I'm looking, let's see, and I'm trying to remember, I want to say it's Tina. Our Applique fonts, special fonts, I'm guessing. So I purchased these just like I purchased embroidery fonts, but they are made to be applique. And if you look at the color, each letter has, each letter has 3 steps. It has the placement step, the tack down, and then the final stitch. And when you click this one, the stitch simulator, you can drag this. So there's the pump. I have it in the order the pumpkins being first. Okay, here's fall. See, there's the placement, tack down, and then the final stitch. So you can use it still as a BX font, but it's going to stitch just like an applique. And you're going to see all those steps when we do the towel today. Joe, sorry. I don't know where I got Tina from. All right. Okay. Any other questions about Embrilliance? Just let me know. But the fonts I used in the original one that we're doing today, in case you like these and you want to know, this one is Designs by Juju Finn. That's Finn. This one is the one I just showed you. All I did with this one, I don't know if you can see it. I wanted to see what it looked like filled with fabric, because when you just do it, it shows it empty. When you click it and you click color, and I think I can click this and it will say applique position, applique material. I don't know if y'all can see that. I had a little box pop up. I'm gonna hit position. And this one I'm gonna hit applique material. And again, I have a box that I don't know if y'all can see. No, y'all can't see it. There is a box that pops up with thread and it tells you the thread colors. And then there's an applique box and there's an option to simulate fabric underneath it, just to give you a visual of what this looks like with fabric. So I made the colors in Embrilliance what I plan to stitch it out as, to really get a visual of, are those colors going to look good together? I'm using a green fabric, so I filled the fall with a green color. So that is something you can play around with in Embrilliance. So this is Designs by Juju Finn. This is Joy Kate Designs Gavin applique font. And this one is Designs by Juju Go With The Flow. And I have links to all 3 of those fonts if you're interested on my Sip and Stitch homepage. There I have links to everything I use today. I have a lot in the description box below the video, but that is your go-to place for if I'm missing anything from the description box. I do always make sure that page is fully updated with all the links to everything I use today. All right, let's go. I think we are done with Embrilliance. So let me stop that. Okay. All right. Oh, Joanne had a question. Does Embrilliance work with all machines? Yes. Embrilliance is a software program that can open any format of embroidery design. So normally when you buy a design, it comes in like 8 or 9 different formats. The formats are specific for your machine. If you have a brother or baby lock, you are going to use a PES format. My Ricoma that we're using today uses DST. Janome has a certain one, I want to say, is it SEW? Then Viking has a certain format that it's likes. And Bernina, like it all depends on what machine you have and what format. However, the program opens all designs. It even lets you open up, because this has come up in the past before, where You started off with one machine. So you started off with a small brother machine, and then you upgraded to a big Ricoma machine. They use different formats. Will you be able to put all your embroidery designs that you purchased previously in on your new machine? And the answer is yes. And you can do that with Embrilliance, because you can open up a PES design in Embrilliance and then save it as a DST and put it on the new or other machine that you have. So Embrilliance is really great for a lot of things. Converting formats is one, and doing that minor editing of resizing, and then merging designs, taking up the pumpkins and now adding text to it and adding wording or a monogram or a name, whatever you want. That's the main thing. And when I keep saying Embrilliance, I'm specifically using today Embrilliance Essentials. So Embrilliance is a platform. It is a company that makes several software programs. The great program for you to start with is Essentials. And that everything I'm doing today, you can do in Essentials. And then they have other programs you can add on to get more features. And then they have programs like Stitch Artist, where you can create your own embroidery designs from scratch, or also called digitizing. So there's a little breakdown of Embrilliance for you. All right. Okay, let's see. Desiree said, hi, if I'm embroidering on a waterproof jacket, what would I put behind it after to keep it waterproof again? I think I saw this question pop up in the Facebook group. I don't know of anything that will truly make it waterproof. However, I know in the past when I have done those insulated lunch kits, I have put duct tape, because usually the inside of the insulated lunch kit is that silver material. I have applied duct tape to the back of it to keep any holes from the stitching, keeping the coolness of the lunch kit from not working. I would imagine duct tape would also be fine on a waterproof jacket or a raincoat. Does it look great? Maybe not, but that's the only thing that I've come up with personally. Okay. All right, so, okay, real quick. Michelle says, how do you get the fonts in Embrilliance? It's very easy. Normally when I purchase fonts, and just about everyone has this now, but sometimes Etsy may not have it. So look for it. It will tell you all the formats the font comes in. If it says it comes in BX, that is specific for Embrilliance, not for any machine, specific for Embrilliance. And when it's a BX font, you can just install it. And by installing it, you literally can just double click it. So when you download your font, it probably comes with lots of folders because they all come in different sizes and all different formats. Find the section that has BX, and even within BX, there'll be several sizes. I just double click on each one of those sizes, and then you'll see a screen pop up in Embrilliance saying such and such font was installed. Click OK. You can, if you have multiple that you want to install at one time, I usually have a window open of all my files, and then I have Embrilliance open to where they're kind of like side by side, and I select all of the new BX fonts I just purchased, and I drag them and drop them in the Embrilliance window when it's open, and then they all install at one time. So that's how you put a BX font into Embrilliance, and then from that on, it's going to show up on that little menu every time you click the letter A button, and you get a drop-down menu of all your fonts. That's where they're going to show up. Okay. Sheila says she thinks there is a stabilizer, especially to seal holes. All right, so we'll have to do some research on that. Thank you, Sheila. All right, Cindy X, is there an Embrilliance program that will convert SVGs to a PES or an embroidery file? You can, but it's not as simple as a click of a button where you convert it. With the Stitch Artist digitizing program, it comes in 3 levels, and you can start with the lowest level and learn the program, and if you like it, you can upgrade to the other levels. The price is the same no matter what, if you buy all of them or you just buy one and add on. The level 2 of Stitch Artist lets you open up SVG files and does what we call apply stitches to it. So say I have an SVG of a heart. I can open up that SVG of a heart. It's just going to be lines in the program, and then I can click it and say, okay, I want this to be filled with stitches. I can click the fill stitch button, and then it's going to be a typical fill. If I want it to be a border of a satin, I can click a button and do satin border, and it will just line that heart with the satin border. So you are still, there's still work that you have to do, especially if it's a complicated SVG with lots of objects, so to say. But you can open it and then apply whatever kind of stitches you want to it. So that is something you could do in Stitch Artist Level 2. There is a learning curve, but it's definitely fun and worth getting into if it's something you're interested in. All right. All right, Brenda makes a good point. So once you have that BX font and Embrilliance, do you convert it to PES for your brother machine? Yes. So I didn't show that today. So I made my design. I got my pumpkins. I got my fonts that were BX. When I'm done making my design, I'm going to go to the top of the screen and hit File. And there's usually 2 options. You can save as a working file or save as a stitch file. When you're ready to go to your machine, click Save as Stitch File. From that point, it's going to ask you what format do you want to save it as, or you can set it to be where it always automatically does PES. And then it's going to save it as a PES file. Now that whole thing goes to your machine via a USB stick, or if you have wireless capabilities with your machine. And now just that whole design, that whole project that you created in Embrilliance goes to your machine as one PES file. It's not separated by this font and this font and this design. So yes, make your design, use your BX fonts however you want, and then save the whole thing as a stitch file for the format for your machine. Okay, all right guys. Okay, let's move on to hooping. All right, so old towel, that's the finished towel. Let's make a new towel. So this is what I'm using today. This is the Durkee EZ Frame, and this is specific for those free arm machines. I have this for my Persona as well, my single needle free arm machine, and now I have this for my 10 needle machine. And basically what we're doing is we are floating our towel on here. And if you're not using sticky stabilizer, I'm going to use clips. I'm going to show you how I use these clips. So with the Durkee EZ Frames, you get an adapter that fits your specific machine, and then you can get lots of different size frames, and they have as little as I think 2 by 3 all the way up to the biggest hoop for your machine. So my Ricoma is 8 by 12. So I have that. My Persona is 8 by 8. So I have an 8 by 8 frame for that one. So you can get an array of frames to do tons of different projects. So for now, I'm just working with the frame, and I have my wash away stabilizer. So I'm just going to cut a piece. I hate these scissors. Those are my everything scissors, but now they don't cut stabilizer. So I'll use my fabric. Okay. So stabilizer. And actually we can cut it a little bit more because we're going to wrap it. All right. Now, I have the stabilizer going underneath, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it over, and these are the clips that I've used for these since I've gotten them. They're called Super Clip, SUPA. And I got them on Amazon, and I do have a link for them down in the description box below. So this is great for if you want to use any stabilizer other than sticky, because I like to do a cutaway sometimes, a poly mesh, and now a wash away. So it allows you to get the stabilizer on there. So it has this opening, and I just put the frame in there, and I do that, and it puts these little metal clips to hold it in place. So I'm just going to pull it here. It's kind of tricky getting it to where you make it nice and tight. I think I usually start on the sides and then I do the bottom. You can also just use binder clips. I have these other clips I'm going to use to help hold my towel in place, so I don't even have to use spray adhesive. And so what's cool about these is that when you're done, they just pop off, and then you slide them right back into the back of here, and then you could use them again. So these are the clips that I use on my EZ Frames. So I have that done. Now let's get the towel. Let's do, I don't know if I'm gonna wait to do that. All right, I'm talking to myself, sorry. Okay, towel. Okay, when you buy the towels, they're usually folded in thirds like this already. And usually this is how I put it on the bar on my oven and hang. So for me, I want my design to be in the middle of this third of my towel. And it's folded nicely now, but sometimes when it's folded in the package, it's not always actually centered. So I'm gonna pull my whole towel out and measure. It's about 16.5, so that would be 8 1/4. Now, I'm doing a 5x7 design. You can use the frame itself to figure out like where you want it exactly. However, I'm a big fan of using the grids. So this is actually a 5x7 grid for my PE 800. So I'm going to use this as a guide for my placement. So 16.5, put it under the ruler. So that's 8 1/4. So I know I want it there. And then if I fold my towel in half, it's about 14, so 7. So I got it right where I want it. Okay, so this is where I want my design to stitch. And that's right in the center of the area. And now I'm going to use my marker. Now, this is a dark towel, so I don't know if you will be able to see the marks that I make. But I'm just sticking my marker in the little holes of the grid. And now I have some dots here. I'm just making some little crosshairs so that I can have a spot to line up my needle, so I know that my design is going to fall where I want it to. So I think you can see that. Now I'm going to do the same thing to my EZ Frame. Now the EZ Frame has some notches on the center sides and top and bottom. I'm just going to use those notches to make a little crosshair here. Now, the next step is up to you. You can spray this with some basting spray so that it gives it a little bit of stick so your towel won't move. So that's an option. You can also lay your towel on top. And so this is what I do. I'm looking at my lines on my towel, and I'm looking at the lines on my stabilizer. And I'm just trying to line them up. Now, when you have the basting spray, you can like peel away and restick it because the sticky is not too bad. And I can see my line. Oops, where's my line? There, and my line is there. Okay, So that is where I want my towel to be on my frame. And you can see kind of the indentation of where the frame goes. Now I have these other little clips. I think I got these at the Dollar Tree. And I am going to carefully pick up my towel. And see, you got to watch when you clip it because you pull on it. So that's where the basting spray helps it stay in place a little nicer. And then also, and so it's going to go onto the machine like this, right? Also, because this is a towel, I still would use some water soluble topper. So I'm going to cut some topper to fit that whole area. And you can put that on your clips as well, but usually if I cut a piece big enough, it stitches just fine and stays in place. So now I take my towel. I'm going to go ahead and fold this up for now. And my adapter. And slide this on, make sure it goes all the way, and then you tighten the thumb screws. Okay. All right. So now we are ready to go to the machine. So let me check the comments real quick. Okay, I see Michelle asked about Embrilliance, and then I saw somebody recommended Lisa Shaw. Yeah, Chantel said, definitely look up Lisa Shaw. She is the best Embrilliance teacher. And in the Embrilliance YouTube channel, like Lisa teaches on the Embrilliance YouTube channel as well. Oh, Chantel brings up a good point. Okay, so there is a free version of Embrilliance. It's called Embrilliance Express. With Express, it is strictly for the use of BX fonts. So yes, you can import purchased BX fonts into that program. You may create a lettering design and save the stitch file and stitch it out. However, you cannot merge a lettering design with, like, for say the pumpkins we did today. It will strictly only let you create lettering designs using only BX fonts. That's what you can do with the free version of Embrilliance Express. Once you want to start playing with merging designs like the pumpkins with the BX fonts, that's when you need to buy Essentials. All right, so the machine I'm using today is my Ricoma EM-1010. They actually have a sale going on the Ricoma machines right now. They're having a Labor Day sale. So if you are interested in upgrading to a big machine, now is a really good time to look at them because they are on sale and they have free shipping. And the main thing, like, okay, I always go on the wrong side. I need to go this side first, then this side. The great thing about with the Ricoma packages is it comes with the stand. It comes with 4 hoops. It comes with the cap driver and 2 cap rings. So you could be stitching a hat and then hooping another hat. So as soon as that one's done, you can switch it over and start stitching another hat. It comes with digitizing software. They have Chroma digitizing software. And free virtual training so that you can get training sessions on how to use your machine, how to maintain your machine. So it's really great. And they get, I think I got stabilizer and thread as well. So if you're interested in upgrading to a bigger machine, I have a link down below. You just click it, you fill out the form, and then like someone from Ricoma will call you, answer all your questions, tell you about pricing. They have 0% financing available. So all that good stuff. So check that out if you're interested. I think the sale is good through September 9th. Okay, so I have loaded my EZ frame onto my machine, and machine is turned on. I have the design loaded. I also turned the design because this is the bottom of my towel and this is the top. So I want it to say happy fall y'all pumpkins. Like, think about the way you're loading it and make sure it's matching on the screen of how it's going to stitch out on your item. So I have the design loaded. I have it turned. Now, since this is a multi-needle machine, it can change colors for you. And that is awesome. However, since I do have a piece of applique in here, I do need it to stop so that I can add the fabric and trim it and do the placement and all that. So I'm going to set my machine to where it stops, it stitches, and then it stops. And then when I'm done with my applique, I'm going to put it back on automatic mode, and then it just stitches out everything else, and I don't have to do anything. It changes the thread and goes. So I have a button here where you assign. So when you have the step and when you have the program and you open it in Embrilliance, it shows you each color is a step. And I have it to where each step gets assigned a needle, and each needle is essentially a thread color. So happy is step 1. I want to stitch that out in this yellow color. This is yellow color is associated with needle number 2. So step 1, I have needle number 2, and so on. So you go from there and assign the thread color you want for each step of the design. When I'm doing applique, I usually do an odd color. However, in today's applique, it's a bean stitch. So the final color is the green. So each step of the applique, I'm assigning the green thread just in case it can be seen underneath, so that all of those stitches are getting that green color. And I press this button here to be automatic manual, and that's going to make it stop after each step to allow me to do my applique piece, and then I just hit start again. All right, so that is done. Now you load the design, you make sure the orientation you want, you assign your needles. The last step is to trace the design. Now, with any frame that is not a hoop that came with the machine, and even with the hoops you came with the machine, you always want to trace. You always want to make sure that when it is stitching, it is not going to accidentally hit this metal frame of the EZ frame. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and move my needle over to needle 1. It also does that automatically. Okay, so this is needle 1. Whatever needle is the one that you have that is going to work, the presser foot, you can just pull it down with your finger. So I can see exactly where that needle is going to drop. Now, the first thing I want to do is that needle dropping right in the center of my crosshair? And I see it does. It maybe could move a smidge. So I can press the arrows on my machine and my frame is moving how I want it to do. So I want that needle to drop right in the center of my crosshair. Okay, so now I could see it's right in the middle of the placement mark that we made on the towel. So that is done. Now I'm going to trace it. I'm going to go ahead and leave my topper off while I'm tracing so I could see. While it's tracing, you can have this pulled down and the frame is going to move and you can see right. You can also just see that, whether or not it's going to hit the frame. So in order to trace, you have to lock the machine, and that's putting the embroidery status on. And then there is this square with arrows. I could press that, you see? And this is where I can see exactly, it caught. I should use that spray adhesive. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and put the spray adhesive. I thought I could get away with not using it, but it's gonna pull up too easily. So let's go back to the craft table real quick and make sure I got that on better. So I didn't have that before because I used sticky tearaway and it stuck to it real good. Okay, so I'm just going to lightly spray that. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did before, where I lay it right on top, but now I got to find where I put my marks. Okay. So I'm lining that up with the center. Okay, I can see. That's a little better. All right, I saw someone ask about the USB stick. I think you said you saw it now, though. Yeah, there's a USB stick on the side of the little screen. That is where you add your design. Lost my clips. Let's see, I'm going to put a clip all the way here. And all the way there so that doesn't pull down like it did. Okay. Let's see if that is better. I just have to make sure that doesn't. Okay, let's go back to the machine. And machine. There we go. Yes, importance of checking, Joe said. So with all the Ricoma hoops, they have like a U notch, and it's best to go in on the right of that U and then get that left side under the clip. And with the Durkee, you got to make sure it goes in these two little pegs all the way at the end. Okay. There's something about the towel here. Machine was catching. Okay. Now, let's trace again and see if that happens. There we go. All right, so everything fell right, and none of the needle did not come close to the frame where I'd be worried. And the clips are not in the way. And the back was not in the way. So I think everything's good. The only thing that's happened now that sometimes aggravates me is the threads come out of, they have this like little Velcro bar that helps keep the threads out of the way. And I think my towel knocked all of those out. So I just like to tuck those back in. It's no big deal if they hang out, but sometimes they get in the way. And I like them to be out of the way. So I just use my tweezers and I tuck them back in. And this thread's all, here we go. Okay, now everything is tucked away. I need my topper. Okay, Chantel said, remember to center again since I did readjust. Yes, it is slightly off. Oh, can't be in the lock mode to move it. So I have to unlock it down. I always go the wrong way. There we go. That's a little bit better. It was slightly off. So thank you for reminding me that. Okay, let me trace it once again. Lock it. Trace. I couldn't tell how close it was to that. Let me do it one more time. I really want to pay attention to how close it is to the back. It's close to the back. Let me, just to be safe, let me shrink it a little bit. Okay, so you can do lots of things to your design on the machine, like all the rotating. You can also shrink it a little bit. So if I want to make it a little bit skinnier, I can do that. So I go to Design Set, and then they have X and Y percentage. So right now it's at 100%, just like when we were messing with it on Embrilliance. I can, the Y is what I'd want to change, and I'm just going to go to like 92. No, clear. 92. Enter. Just a smidge. Okay, I'm going to hit OK. And you could see, I could see it made it a smidge smaller. I'm going to hit Escape. And lock. Okay, and trace. Okay, I think that's better. I don't want the back part of the presser foot to come close to that metal frame. And I can even move it a smidge that way to make sure. Okay, so once we have everything set, put your topper. And like I said, you could put your topper with your clips if you want to. My towel's messing up all my threads. Oh well, they'll be fine. Okay, and then we can hit start, and the first color is the yellow, so you're going to watch it change to the second needle, and then it's going to start stitching happy. Can y'all see that okay? I think the light sometimes makes it harder. Yes, Tina's saying I'm making sure it doesn't hit the side. Yes, so I don't, that metal frame that we have it clipped on right now, I'm making sure that the needle, the presser foot, does not come close to hitting that. Because like I said, since this is a hoop that did not come with the machine, you have to set it to think a different hoop is on, and then you just move the needle to the center. And that way you get your design placement where you want. However, if you put too big of a design on there, the machine thinks it has a big hoop on it. Therefore, the needle will move to that spot and you might hit that metal frame. The same applies to if you use the Mighty hoops. You have to take the same precautions. And Trisha X, I do have the design rotated. Yes, I'm sorry. The screen is so bright you can't really see it, but it is rotated on the screen so that I know it is in the right orientation. Ah, Angela said her Ricoma technician helped reset her hoop settings to match her Mighty hoops, and that was very helpful. So that's something I can try too. Thank you, Angela. Okay. So right now it's just stitching happy. And when it's done with happy, it's going to stop. Okay, so now it is done with happy. All right, and so the next step is the placement of the F. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. It's going to change to my green thread, and it's just going to stitch out where my F, where I need to put my fabric. Okay, now I'm gonna grab my fabric. So I just have a big piece of green fabric. I already put Heat and Bond light on it. And I just kind of laying it on there to where it covers my placement stitch. And I'm just going to hold this side in place, hand very far away from the needle. And I've got to make sure my hand don't move. I'm going to hold on to the clip so my hand stays steady. Okay, and hit start. So now it's going to tack down the F. All right. Now these are the steps where it's important that it stops. So I can either slide my machine, my hoop off and stay right here and trim it, but to show y'all better, I am going to go to the craft table and trim that F so y'all can see. All right, so here is my F. And you can leave a little bit of space away from the stitching since this is a bean stitch. So now you just trim this and that's it. And then it will go do the next step. But all the steps for this particular font, all the final steps are still within this. It's not going to go outside of this tack down stitch that you are seeing. It all goes on top of it or inside of it. So you can trim close if you want to. I like to have just a little bit of a edge around it. Okay. Just get that to look how you want. So now the F is done. So we're going to go back to the machine and it's going to stitch the more decorative stitch like this one on top. And then we'll repeat that for all the rest of the letters for fall. Okay. Making sure I switch the cameras. All right. And so every time I pull this frame off, I got to make sure I put it right back. Yeah, wrong side. Correctly. Make sure nothing's getting caught up. Ow. Don't pinch yourself. All right. Make sure everything's out the way. And again, make sure nothing's over the arm and the bobbin where you're stitching. Okay, and now I can hit start again, and it's going to do that decorative stitch. All right. I see Joe X. Is there a way to sort it so that you could do all the tack downs and all the placement stitches at the same time? Yes, that is something that you can do in Embrilliance, and you can change the order by color sorting. However, this font and the sugar cakes font from Applique Alley, I had trouble because the letters are so close together. Instead of just taking one piece of fabric and covering all the letters, it was really hard for me to trim. So personally, when I'm working with these fonts, it depends on the font, but the one that I'm working with today, I like it better trimming one at a time because it was way too tedious to get in between some of the letters. Okay, so it is done with the decorative stitch for F. So I'm gonna press start again, and it's gonna do the placement stitch for the A. And if you have been in the Facebook group a long time, I think we did one Facebook Live in the Facebook, like before I started doing YouTube and stuff. We did, we made Elise. I had this cute little dress and we put her name on it using this font. And I did just that. I just put one piece of fabric over. And the whole live, I'm like, I wish I would have done this one at a time. So that's where I get that from. Okay, fabric. I have my A. I'm just putting it right on top. Make sure it's covering it. Fingers far away from the needle and start. Now the A is tricky because there's a hole. So the best thing I could tell you with the A is that practice. I've gotten it with practice. There are, if you can see right where you put it, you can snip a little hole in the fabric before you put it down. But for me, the likelihood of me getting it right in the right spot is probably not going to happen. So I'm going to show you what I do. You have to slide this out just the right way because the little knobs on the back get in the way of the needle. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about now. You see that little hole in the A? Those can be a pain in the butt. That's what I loved about the sugar cake font is instead of cutting a hole, you just fill that hole with a different fabric. And that's what made that one really fun and had no problem with the letters that have holes in them. Okay, so you see how close this A is to that F? It's not too bad. But when I made that dress for Elise, I was like cursing under my breath the whole time. Okay. I'm looking at the chat. Wait, I can't read and cut at the same time. Not that talented. All right, so I'm just turning this and cutting it. I pull the fabric up with my left hand. You see as I cut to make sure my scissors are only cutting my fabric and not cutting my towel and such. Having the water-soluble topper is like a little extra layer of protection. This is the hard part. Now, my scissors have a really pointy tip. What I typically do is let me put my hand under here so I'm not jabbing through my stabilizer. But I just try to poke a hole and I could feel, I got it. I could feel it and I'm pulling this fabric up and I don't think I have the towel or anything with it. I might have the water, but let's see. And I'll do a little snip and ooh, I did good. I didn't even get the water soluble. It's there. So it's nice when you don't, like when I did the other towel, I cut the water soluble with it. So then I was taking a chance of snipping my towel a little bit when I did it. But now that I got it this time, that protects me from catching like one of the little loops of the towel with it. And if this is like gonna make you pull your hair out trying to do this, just leave the A closed with green. It looks good with it closed with green too. That brown barely pokes through to even see. So don't pull your hair out, just leave that filled, okay? If you wanna play with it, like I said, I poke it and I just try to ease my scissors in there to where I could feel like I only got that one layer of fabric and trim that out, okay? So there is our A. I'm gonna go back to the machine and rinse and repeat. I gotta change the camera. Okay. All right, I'm gonna come back and look at questions in a minute. Okay, see I have to slide it. The position, I always do the wrong side. The position that the needle stopped is an odd position for the frame because those black screws in the back are in the way. So I gotta like slide it in the middle and then come over and put it where I want it. once those get behind the machine. All right, move my stuff. Make sure everything's good. Nothing's wrong. Okay, and now we'll do the L. No, now it's going to finish the A. Then we do the L. Okay, let me look at questions. Hi, Scrappy Quilter. Thanks for joining us. Tina said, where did I get my scissors? I got them from Sewing Machines Plus. I have a link in the box. And on the Sip and Stitch homepage, they are called Havels, Havels. They are my favorite. My favorite. Okay. Wendy, this cracked me up. My mom came in and said, look at her. You would never know that this is tape. It's like she's talking right to you. I am talking to you, Wendy's mom. I'm talking straight to you. I love doing lives because I love talking to people. Even though I still, sometimes it's like I'm still talking to myself, but I love interacting with y'all and answering questions. And also, I know this scares the heck out of some people, but mistakes happen. Y'all see me do it all the time. When we do stuff live, you see when things get messed up. And you see how I'm gonna fix it or how hopefully I can fix it. Most of the time it works out to where I can fix it. But those little things you don't always catch when you film a video and edit it because you're gonna take that little piece out. So in a live, I can't do that. Y'all get to see all the messiness of the way things sometimes work out. Like for instance, when you have your machine and your heat press on at the same time and it blows a fuse and the power goes out. Y'all get to see how to fix that because that's happened before. Okay, we're done with the A. We're stitching the L. But it was funny. It happened. I was on this machine. I don't turn this heat press on. I kind of slide this machine over when that heat press is on. But I had my regular iron on and it was just overloaded for my electricity. And so the machine shut off and I had to turn it back on and get my stuff back in the right spot just so that it could finish stitching out. Okay, the L placement is done. Now I'm trying to do this to where I use the least amount of fabric. Okay, that looks good. Holding my finger way out the way. Now that orange thread is in my way. I gotta go fix that now. This is the stuff that bothers me. Oh, it pulled right out. It already pulled itself out. See, it fixed itself. Good. All right, so that is tacked down. Okay, slide this over and out. Okay, so we got the L. One more after this. Okay, scissors. Okay, L is done. Let's go back and do the decorative stitch and then move on to the last letter. Snap. Those snaps are good to hear. Lets me know everything is where it's supposed to be. All right, that's out the way. That is right. Everything's good. Now finish that L. Let's see. Oh, Joe said the first live she caught was the Horizon bag. I think that was the Parker on the porch bag. Oh, it changed her life. That was a really fun project. I'm glad y'all got a kick out of my story with the power. Let's see. It's so Tina thinks it doesn't look like I have room for the next L. I do. All right, so that one is done. Yeah, I got plenty of room for the next L. Double check there. Now it's going to stitch the placement. See? No problem. That orange thread needs to get out of my way. Go back in your spot, orange thread. Your turn is coming up. Okay, I got my placement for my L. Got my fabric. Let's see, will this work? I think that works. Hold my finger over here. Perfect. I like playing this game of Tetris with the fabric because normally I cut the fabric to for like each piece of applique that I do. Like I would go and I'd print it out and I'd see, okay, I need this size rectangle. But since all of these were the same thing, it was fun to do this method instead and just keep turning the fabric and making it fit to your next step. So here's the last L. So next time I have to use green for a small piece of applique. I have this oddly shaped piece ready to go. Okay, let me turn. Okay, after we finish this, because I'm already forgetting. After we finish this fall, we're going to announce the winner of the Creative Fabrica giveaway. We need to do that. Okay, let's get this in over. Snap. Okay, everything's out the way. And now I don't have any more applique left. So now I could turn my machine to automatically go to the next step. I don't need to press start. So to do that, I'm going to go back to my thread button where it's on automatic manual. I'm going to change it to where it just says automatic. Okay, it took that into account. And now it's just going to get stitching. So everything is good. So we can watch this. So I saw the funniest reel, those little short videos or whatever you could see on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. I was looking at my phone earlier, and it was a guy, and he had the same machine as me, and it said, the caption said, "Bought an industrial machine so that I can get more things done." And it's just him sitting in front of the machine, just watching it like this. Like he's not getting anything else done because it's like mesmerizing just to watch it. And I laugh so hard because I do the same exact thing. Even though I feel much more comfortable walking away from this machine and like go and doing, you know, like hooping the next thing or getting fabric ready, you know, for the heat and bond or whatever. But it's just so fun to watch. I just sit there and look at it. I have to find that video and share it. Okay. Oh, shit. So, oh, I'm sorry, I cursed. I am not on the machine. Somebody said, I can only see your mat. I'm so sorry. Okay, now you see the machine. It's stitching. All right, let's do a little comma, and then let's do the rest of y'all. I'm watching it because I really want to make sure, because the L, the last L of y'all is, I think, the part of the design that sticks out the furthest. So I just want to be here and watching it to make sure I figured the placement right. This should be fine, but I just get nervous. I love this color blue, but sometimes I look at my towel and the blue really stands out, but then I find in the picture it didn't stand out too much. So maybe it's just the picture didn't translate well. The yellow thread's in my way. I paused my machine because I don't want that yellow thread to get caught up in my blue. Okay, start. Yeah, no problem. So if you're ever worried about the design you're doing being uncomfortably close to that frame, just use a bigger frame. Keep the same design, use a bigger frame, just to be safe. You're floating it anyway, so it's not, you know, the hoop does not have to fit the project perfectly. It can be bigger, and to give yourself a little more peace of mind, just go with the bigger frame. My topper just made it to the bottom of the pumpkin, at least in that area, because it's kind of crooked. So now it's stitching the pumpkin, and the pumpkin takes a little while because it's a filled stitch. Oh, y'all all laughing at me? The fun of doing a live. Thank you, Chantel. Yep, the little red face with the asterisk, that's me. Tina said that's my favorite word when I'm in trouble. That is my grandma's favorite word, and it was so funny growing up when I was little, because I'd be playing in the living room or whatever, and I just heard that word coming out of the kitchen. And I'd say, Mama, you're not supposed to say that. And she would say, I'm sorry, I know. And then she'd say it again. All right. Yay, the towel's coming up really nice. I'm glad y'all like it. So yeah, it's super cute. And this is just a fun way to show you, you know, we always see these really cute designs, but there's still so much more that you can do to them and customize them so that, you know, you have this pumpkin design, and yeah, you put it on a couple things, but now you add lettering to it and you can make it specific for anything, you know. So we can make another one when it gets closer to Thanksgiving that says give thanks or gather or something like that. And then it, you know, use the same pumpkin design, and now it's more of a Thanksgiving towel. So fun things like that. And I like mixing all the different fonts together. There goes my black thread. I'm going to pause it. And it wouldn't be a big deal like those times where you do step away and you come back and you're like, oh, the thread got under there. You can pull it out when you're done. You could cut it. It's no big deal. But since I'm standing here watching it get in the way, I'm going to fix it. Go. Okay. But I'll go like, what was it the other day? I have a Ricoma owners Facebook group, so that if you get this machine with my referral link that I told y'all about, y'all can be a member of the private Facebook group. And one of the ladies in my group was having trouble with a design, and she was using the EZ Frames. So I was like, send me the design. I said, actually, I just got these EZ Frames. I said, I'll test it out on mine and see if we could figure out what the issue is. So that was an all thread design. So I stitched it out, and I went downstairs. I went and did stuff in the kitchen. And it was good so that I could just walk away, and I left and then came back, and you don't have to watch it like a hawk. You know, make sure you do your trace for your placement and all that stuff. As long as you take all those precautions and make sure nothing is going to get caught up by the bobbin, then you're fine. But I'm usually always in my room with it when it's running, but I can step away if I need to. All right, I'm reading now. I'm reading the comments. Oh, y'all talking about Blaine. Trisha said, I think Blaine is a bad influence. And Renee agrees with her. Oh, good morning, Norma. I'm sorry we're waking you up early. Thank you for joining us. Norma's on the Pacific Coast, so this is before her wake up time. She told me that when I started doing some 10:30 videos. She's like, I don't like to wake up that early. I'm like, I don't blame you. But always the replay if you don't want to wake up. Okay, so Tina asks a good question. Do you ever use the pre-wound bobbins, or do you wind your own? I always use pre-wound bobbins now. I never want to wind a bobbin again. Like now I'm doing sewing projects, and then I need the top to match the bottom. I was like, oh, I got to wind a bobbin. These are the pre-wound bobbins I use. They're from Philtech, and these work on both my Persona and my Ricoma. And they have a magnetic spot, so it just clicks right in that metal casing of the bobbin case, and they're beautiful, and I got a big box full of them. So these are the ones for my big machines, and then I have different ones for my flatbed machines. The flatbed, so these are style L. The ones for, I'll walk in front of you here, the flatbed machines, the PE 800, even my giant Baby Lock Altair, they use, not style, size A. So this one's size L. The other one, the flatbed machines are style A, and they look like this. They have a plastic casing, and it's clear. These look like a regular old sewing bobbin to me. These are the ones I use for my flatbed machines. All right, now it's doing the black outline on the pumpkins. Everything looks good. Let me go check. All right. Trisha says she at least likes to stay on the same floor when her machine is running. Yes. Okay, here we go. Oh, I forgot to call the winner. Okay, Sanella says, this is so much fun just watching it stitch. That's what I was that's exactly my problem. I have this nice machine that I can walk away from, but I just like sitting there watching it. It's so much fun. Yeah, changing thread colors can be very time consuming. So one of the major benefits of this machine is changing thread color for you. But you know, with applique projects, we still have to pause to do the trimming. But when you get those like sketch stitch designs, those are beautiful on this machine because you can just set it and watch it go, and it will stitch all the things. So I love them. I love it for my stitch designs, the sketch and the filled stitch. All right. I think it is almost done. And one thing I really like about this pumpkin design, you can tell how well this is things that I look at now that I've been doing this a while and I started digitizing. This pumpkin design is really well digitized because all that black outline is connected. You don't see it stitching in one spot and then stopping and jumping to another spot and stitching. It's all connected, so there are no jump stitches. There is one spot, which is almost done now. It's going to come to a zigzag. There are like two little black squiggles in the pumpkin that is not connected. So look, I did a jump there, and I can go cut that little jump stitch, and then it's going to jump over to this pumpkin and do the same thing. But since my machine cuts jump stitches, it's going to cut that part. However, if you're working on like the PE 800 stitching this towel, that's the only couple jump stitches you're going to have for that, you know, really big design. So I look at those kinds of things and I'm like, I like how that's digitized. It's done well. Let's see. Okay, Tina said, tell me more about the private group on Facebook. I must have missed that. So if you ordered your Ricoma through my referral link, just send me a message on Facebook, or you can email me. Where's my email? At hello@carlybell.com. So that beeping is telling me the machine is done. So you can email me there and tell me, you know, you ordered your machine and when you ordered it, and I'll send you the link to my Ricoma Facebook group. And in there is just extra support. Like you get tons of free training from Ricoma, but it's a spot where if you have a quick question, you can ask. And I also have some short training videos in there on like just a bunch of simple little things: how to turn the design, how to load the hoop correctly, how to move the needle around, and you know, just simple little things, little videos that you can always refer to. All right, here is our towel. There we go. See, all done. Now, because I feel terrible, I said I was going to do something after we stitch the applique, and then see, I already forgot. Let's announce the winner of the Creative Fabrica $100 gift card giveaway. So the giveaway started on Monday. You had to do a couple steps. Go download the free design. You had to write a comment on the design page, what you were going to make with it, and then comment on the Facebook post. So there goes my camera. It always does this when I'm on. It just blink. All right. So that was the contest, and Creative Fabrica drew a winner this morning, and they emailed me and told me. So here is the thing. We had a 100 credit giveaway. So this credit is good for anything on their website except the subscription. But you can use this for any of their fonts, any of their cut files, for their embroidery designs, for pictures for sublimation, printing, all the things. $100 credit for their whole website. And the winner is, I have horrible sound effects, Sanella Thomas. Congratulations. Woo! I'm so excited for you. And I saw your name in the comments, so I saw you're watching. Yay. So congrats, Sanella. You are the winner of a $100 credit to Creative Fabrica. The ladies that I work with there already told me they added the credit in your account already. So when you sign into Creative Fabrica, you will see you have a $100 credit, and you can use that to download to your heart's content, all the things that you want. So yay, I see her. Woo! Congratulations. There she is. So I'm so glad you won. Congrats, congrats. So Sanella, we want to see all the things that you get and what you make with it. So I want pictures of all the things. So tell us all about it. And you could do that in the Facebook group, and y'all all come. Make sure you're a member of the My General Carly Bell Beginner Machine Embroidery Facebook group, so you can see all the fun things that Sanella is going to make with her gift card. Yay. Okay. So wait, let me take this off. How do I do that? This one. Okay. All right. So yay, congrats. And I think we'll be doing more stuff like this. Creative Fabrica said they like to do giveaways, so they just tell me, hey, go ahead and give this away. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll be doing more giveaways, so stay tuned. Make sure you're a member of the Facebook group so you can see when those giveaways are happening, okay? And let's get back to finishing our towel. So this is a towel. Take our clips off. Okay, now it is still stuck to the stabilizer, so you can use just something to push these off. Oop, and they go flying across the room, so maybe put your hand in front of them. When you first get these clips, they're like super tight, but I've been using mine a while, so they have a little give to them now. They're not as hard to get off, but when you first get them, they're super tight. But one of them did just go flying across my room. So you take them off, and then make sure I'm holding it the right way. You have the clip side, the tight side pointing towards you or whatever, and you just load them back in like that. And then they're ready to go again. And when you buy it, like they came with a box of like 100 of these, but I'm still using the same 8 or whatever that originally came with it. But if they get too loose, you can load new ones on there to make sure they're working for you how they're supposed to. All right, this is a wash away. So just for right now, I'm going to cut. Don't put my finger in the scissors. I'm going to cut as much of this away as I can, just like I would with a cutaway. Make sure you don't cut the towel on accident, especially I'm using my sharper scissors. Okay. So now what we can do is, I've never just thrown them in the wash. I think you can, but I'll usually go rinse this in the sink and get most of it off. It does get a little gooey. So you can rinse it in the sink and try to get some of that gooiness, and then you could throw it in the wash and it will get it all off. So it won't be there at all. And you'll just see the thread. So the water-soluble topper can tear away, similar to tear away stabilizer, but I can get most of it off like that. So just get as much as you can. Be careful though when you're pulling it that you don't grab some of the little, what you call it, like loops of thread from your towel, because they're easy to, that's easy to do. Where's my little trash can? I always keep like a little tin on my craft table when I have like little pieces of thread or stabilizer or material, to just have it on handy. And if I can't get something, I can use tweezers. Slide the tweezer in between the stabilizer and the towel. And I can do that. It's not pulling away as easy from this applique. One, because it's not like a nice tight line of stitching like it is here. And with the satin, it's a little easier to pull away. So you can do this, or you can do, since we got to wash this anyway, you could throw it in the wash just like this. Another thing, if you're like me and you're always in a rush, you can take a spray bottle of water. So I'll do that and wet it. And I like this bottle because it mists it. So you see how it bubbles up and it dissolves. And then you can take like a paper towel, or I always keep like a little face cloth or microfiber towel, and just kind of help it along. And remember, it's all in the pumpkin as well. So there's a lot to remove for this design. So the easiest thing is just throw this in the wash. Now oh Lord, we got some troll in here. Block. Okay. Thank you, Angela. They had a crazy person on the YouTube site posting all kinds of stuff. Okay. What I was saying. Oh, the marker. My marker rolled off the table. But the purple marker I used, that will also go away in the wash. So I could see it now, but it will go away when you wash it. If you're in a rush and you need it to go away right now, these tide pins are excellent for getting that purple mark out immediately. A lot of water also does the trick as well. So that is our towel. Ooh, this is a good idea. Jody said she sometimes uses a Q-tip with some warm water and rubs it, and then the water soluble comes out nicely. Also, I see a couple jump stitches. Remember that little pieces I was telling you about? So that's when you can use your tweezers and your little applique scissors, and you can get those. There's only 2 jump stitches that the machine didn't cut, but they're there, and that's it. I see a little spot where I have like a loop. I'm gonna trim that, and that's it, guys. All right, yay, I'm glad y'all like it. So this is a fun project. This is a great beginner project. People always say, what's a good project you should start with? Make a towel. Just do a kitchen towel. They're easy to hoop. You don't have to worry about things getting in the way when you're doing it on a flatbed machine. You could just lay it right on top. You can float it, which it's a lot easier to float things than to get the hoop right on the right spot. All the rest of the towel usually stays out the way nicely as it's stitching. And then maybe just don't do the applique fall. Just do a regular big satin stitch or something like that. And so then all you're doing is sitting at your machine and you're changing thread colors. And that's a great first project to start with. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. Go make sure even though the giveaway is over, make sure you can still go grab the free pumpkin design. You can still go grab that on Creative Fabrica's website. And if you like them as much as I do, sign up for that all access subscription, and I have a discount for that. The link is in the description box. So go check that out. If it's a place you see where you're going to end up buying a lot of stuff, get the subscription. It's worth it. So now I have one for me and one for my mother-in-law. Maybe I'm going to see her next weekend. I can bring that to her. I'm giving her, she was here, but then we were crazy set moving the room around and stuff that I didn't give it to her. I'm giving my mother-in-law my old PE 770, and I'm teaching her how to use it. So then she will be able to make this. She'll be able to make some towels and stuff on her machine. So, yeah, Trisha said the subscription is a good deal. It really is. Now, it's not for everybody, but if you're like me and you're constantly looking at designs and looking at cut files, even fonts, like I love getting the fonts for your computer, the true type fonts, not embroidery ones, but those, you can make so many pretty things with those fonts. And those fonts will work with my Silhouette software, so I could cut them out. Like I made a bunch of cute labels for my kids' school supplies using fonts that I got from Creative Fabrica. So it's really is a good deal. Oh, the crazy person's back. Block. Sorry. Like some person on YouTube. I think I blocked them. No, put them in timeout. I could put them in timeout. It's like my kids. Go in timeout. All right. Okay, Sheila X, do you wash it before you gift it? Yes. With this towel, I am going to wash it before I gift it. Because of that wash away stabilizer on the back. If you are worried about detergents and allergies and all that kind of stuff, go ahead and use a tear away stabilizer so that you can just be done with it. Spray water, use a Q-tip, whatever, for the topper, and then it's ready to gift, and you don't have to wash it. But if you're going to use that wash away stabilizer, I would wash it before, or just tell the person you're giving it to, hey, this is going to disappear when you throw it in the wash. All right. Okay, Tina says she'd like to see the video with my mother-in-law. So me teaching her how to use her new machine. She'll love that. I'll put her on video. Okay. Hey, Linda, how are you? Oh, Trisha said SMP had a knucklehead like that too on YouTube. They always have a knucklehead. Yes. So, oh yeah, you working on a quilt? It was Linda. Was it you that were going? You were going to quilt camp? I want to go to quilt camp. Take me with you. So, all right, guys. I think that is all for today. Unless y'all have any more, let me know if you have any questions about Creative Fabrica, about Embrilliance, about Ricoma. Remember, you could still get the pumpkin design for free. The discount link Creative Fabrica gave me for the subscription, I think it always works. So if you're watching the replay and you want to get that discount, that link should still work for you. The Ricoma embroidery machine sale is good through September 9th, 2022. And they can tell you all about it. All you do is use the link that is in the box below, fill out the form, and then someone from Ricoma will call you or email you and answer any questions that you have, tell you about all the different machines, because this is the smallest machine that they have. They have bigger ones. If you are a business and looking to do larger items or have more needles, they have that. They also have heat presses and fancy printers and all kinds of stuff there too, if that is something you're interested in. But the sale is good through the 9th, and check that out. Hi, Delia. Oh, I love it. Linda said she finished up the quote camp on Thursday, but the quote is not finished. That sounds like how the kind of student I would be as well. It would not be finished. Okay, Hope said she just bought Embrilliance. Where can she learn to use it? There's lots of resources for Embrilliance. I myself have several Embrilliance Essentials tutorials on my YouTube channel. You can look there, and those are kind of like big overviews, and we go through most of the things that people want to use Embrilliance for. Then Lisa Shaw is an excellent teacher for Embrilliance. She has her own YouTube channel called Sew Bubbles, and she also, the Embrilliance company has their own YouTube channel, and Lisa will teach videos on their YouTube channel as well. So those are the places that you can go to learn more about Embrilliance. All right. It is lunchtime where I am at, guys, and I am hungry. So I am going to head out. We will be back in 2 weeks on Friday. What's the date? The date we will be back is the 16th, and y'all should be proud of me. I already picked a project. I know I'm always last minute with what are we going to do. So I picked a project. There's this awesome digitizer that I found, and she designs in the hoop bracelets, and they're super cute. And I found a breast cancer awareness one that I want to do because October is breast cancer awareness month. So we're going to do it in a couple weeks so we can show you how it's done, and you can get a bunch made, and then we can give them out the month of October. So that's going to be our project on, I already forgot the date, Friday, September 16th. And that one is going to go back to the nighttime show. That one's going to be a 7 p.m. Show, because the other fun thing that is happening on the 16th is Sew Fest. So a lot of y'all know I'm a big fan of Sewing Machines Plus, and Blaine at Sewing Machine Plus puts on this week-long virtual event in September. It's going to start on Monday the 12th and go through Friday the 16th. And all day long, they're just going to have videos of all different kinds of machines and equipment for sewing, for quilting, for embroidery. And he has educational classes in there as well. So like some videos are short and are project demos, and then he'll have 30-minute classes in there as well. And I'm teaching the class on Friday morning. We're going to go with the Sew Fest. It's all about sewing, but my class is going to be how to add personalization to your sewing projects using embroidery. So we're going to go over how to add monograms and names to things you're sewing, like blankets and bags and things like that, before you finish sewing them and putting them together, how we can embroider them. So that, mark your calendars for that. So Sew Fest is all week long, but it will be on YouTube. So if you miss a segment and you want to go back and watch it, you could go back and watch it on their YouTube page. The crazy person is back. I'm sorry if y'all are seeing all those nasty comments on YouTube. I'm trying to erase them. Okay. Yes. Oh, Tina said Lisa also does a live. Yes. So jumping all over the place. Going back to Embrilliance, Lisa Shaw does a live every Tuesday. I think it's 6 o'clock my time. But she does a live every Tuesday night where she goes over like one particular topic in Embrilliance. So those are fun to watch as well. And you can catch the replays of those on her Facebook and I think YouTube too. Thank you, Trisha. Trisha's helping me with the crazy person on the YouTube chat. So, all right. I think that was everything. Congratulations again to Sanella Thomas on winning the $100 gift card from Creative Fabrica. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope y'all go get this free design and create something. So I want you to take pictures and post them in the Facebook group. You can also post them on Instagram and tag me on there so that I can see them. So if you make something cute with the pumpkin design, show me what you come up with. And other than that, I think that's it. Let's see. We'll do another perfectly pieced video in the next couple weeks, because the new September box just came out yesterday. And we made that house pillow a couple weeks ago, I showed y'all. So we'll be doing the October box going more towards the end of September. So stay tuned for that. So, okay. All right, guys. Well, y'all all have a happy and safe Labor Day weekend. Happy Labor Day, 3-day weekend. My kids are already like, wake up this morning, we don't have school on Monday. So they're all excited. So thanks again for joining me today. Have a happy, safe Labor Day weekend. And I will see y'all Friday, September 16th at both Sew Fest in the morning and then Sip and Stitch at night. So take care, everybody. Bye.